morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Colvin, and we are here at Barnstable Municipal Airport with Airport Manager Bud Breault. Bud, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good.
So usually we're outside. It's a little chilly out there.
A little bit.
Little bit. So I think we'll kind of take hiatus unless we get some nice warm weather.
Okay,
until the springtime. But still plenty of things to talk about. We've heard a lot of the news about Cape Cod Community College's plan for an airframe and power plant program that they're hoping to do here at the airport. So fill me in a little bit. What's going on with that, and are we moving any closer to seeing that happen here at the airport?
Well, I met last week with President Cox from the community college and confirmed some of their plans. I know they're working with the Division of Capital Asset Management in the state level to acquire 2 hangars here at the airfield. So that's in process. And they are currently planning to have the school up and in operation in September of next year if everything works fine. So using that as a guideline for our purposes, last year we had put in a capital plan to extend the road, which is Mary Dunn Way on the east side of the airport, out to this where the location of the school will be, and also to move our fence and then create a new parking lot for the students. There's a possibility that they could have as many as 60 people at their, if both, in other words, they're planning on running 2 classes of 25 each. So if you have that plus instructors and other folks, you could have as many as 60 people out there at any given time for the school. And of course they're looking to get aircraft donated, and if we get a large aircraft that'll be donated, we'll be trying to site it somewhere on our new ramp over there on the other side of the airfield and put in some hardening spots for them and that type of thing. So I may be going in for a supplemental appropriation because I don't think I had enough money in my budget to do some of this, so we'll be asking for a little bit more so that we can get this completed before they open.
Great, great, but looking like it's definitely going to take place here at the airport.
It certainly does look that way.
Great.
Yes, and we're very happy about it. We're hoping that this will be sort of like the beginning of a revitalization of the East Ramp.
Sure, because there's really not a whole heck of a lot going on over on the East Ramp right now, right?
It's very quiet. There's a couple of empty hangars essentially, mostly T hangars, and we're still waiting to complete our development agreement with the Cape Cod Commission, which would allow us to do more marketing for further development of some of the empty area on the East Ramp. So
sure, and you're currently in the process of reconstructing that ramp itself. I remember we were out there a few months ago as the workers were doing it. Is that work still going on?
That ramp has been completed.
Done.
So it was done essentially before the end of September.
Great.
And we finished the paving before the arrival of the warbirds. And after the warbirds left, then we went and did what they call a slurry seal. And so the whole ramp has been completed, sealed, and all new tie-downs and everything. So it was a good project. It came in under budget and ahead of schedule.
Wonderful.
So we're happy about that.
Wonderful. Lots of construction, of course, Bud, going on here at the airport with that. That's complete. I noticed as we were coming in, you can look out the ramp behind us. There's orange cones, a lot of guys digging in the dirt. What's going on back there?
We're in the final phases of the completion of the relocation of Taxiway Alpha and the rehabilitation phase 2 of the parking ramp in front of the terminal. And we're also in the final phases of completing a new centralized de-icing pad. So what you're seeing out there right now with all the paving is most of the major work on the ramp and the de-icing pad, and a good part of the taxiway. There's still some more taxiway work to be done on the other side of the runway, and some of the work has to be done really close to the runway. And when that happens, and we're planning on this to start perhaps a week from today, we will be closing runway 624 for perhaps as much as 2 weeks for them to do the work that has to be done within the safety area next to the runway.
Right.
So, and while they're doing that, we're allowing NSTAR and their contractor Kobo to cut through runway 624 and taxiway Charlie to finish the installation of their duct banks for the new NSTAR cable that's going through the airport.
Right. So always good to kind of combine those construction projects, you know, so you don't have to rip up the runway twice.
Well, we didn't want to rip it up twice, but we also didn't want to close it twice. Because if we couldn't do this, then we were going to have to bore underneath the taxiway and the runway, and that would have been probably an extra $500,000 they would have had to pay. And of course, the ratepayers would be having to assume that burden, if you will.
Right. And certainly, you know, saving money all around is always a good thing.
Exactly.
Tell me about the fuel storage, the fuel farm. I understand that you cleared site plan review recently. What is this project all about?
We're, as you may or may not have known, we're trying to expand our fuel capacity for jet fuel. This has been in the works for well over 10 years. It's been in the development of regional impact. It was approved when we did the terminal. So it's just taken us a long time to try to identify monies, and it turns out that the airport's going to have to pay 100% of the cost. No one will give us any grants for this. So once we came to that final realization, we started to push forward with it. Also, our fuel sales have been picking up in the past year or so. So the single 20,000 gallon tank that we have now, it just doesn't cut it. So we're putting in hopefully 60,000 gallon of above ground tanks, and we'll remove the old 20,000 gallon underground tank. And we're also building the pad large enough so that at some point in the future we should be able to consolidate all the fueling activities at one location on the airfield. So this is a fairly significant project for us, both from an operational point of view and an environmental point of view.
Indeed.
And right now we're waiting for the fire department to finish their review. Then we'll go out to bid. We're hoping to go out to bid by the end of this month. If we have a mild winter, we might see some work done on grading and perhaps even pouring the concrete slab for it. Otherwise, it'll start in the spring.
Great. Never a dull moment
Never a dull
here.
moment. And then I just remembered the interesting part was Taxiway Charlie is another major relocation project. We didn't think we were going to get the money for that for a couple of years, but the FAA has indicated that we might be able to get it in this current fiscal year for them. So we're pushing real forward very fast on the design to be able to take advantage of the availability of extra money with the FAA, so that could also start in the spring.
Super. Love to hear that. Bud, I thank you so much for the updates. Always great to hear what's going on here. And like I said, a busy place, never a dull moment.
Right. Thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bud Breault, of course, is the manager of Barnstable Municipal Airport. I'm Sarah Colvin.